So we've got some recent questions about the differences between static and dynamic cabling, specifically what we offer. So I wanted to take just a quick minute to explain the differences between the two of them. What I have here in front of me are the two systems, or a sample of the two systems that we use. The first one being a static steel cable. This is extra high strength galvanized steel cable. This is the 5/16 size, and we follow that up with the rig guy hardware for the appropriate size. Now, the important part to understand between static cable and the dynamic cable here is, one, the obvious is that this is made of a galvanized steel cable that is way less flexible and is way more static than the rope fiber dynamic cable. But the purpose of each is also a little bit different. This is designed to keep a union in place and make as little movement as possible, whereas the dynamic cable still allows for some wiggle room between the union, but limits the amount of movement that that union is going to have. There are pros and cons to each of this. The pro behind the static cable is that it requires less maintenance. There's still a lifespan, but the steel cable is not nearly as prone to UV degradation. Animals like squirrels eating the cable, they're not going to eat steel. Whereas some of the dynamic cable, you will find UV degradation over the years. You will find squirrels and other animals that like to nibble on this, and that might weaken it. However, on the dynamic cable, right, we're not necessarily wounding the tree when we install this. This is getting installed around a branch, whereas when we install the static cable, we have to drill a hole that's just a 1/16 of an inch larger than the cable. This gets poked through the union, and that's where the hardware comes in and gets installed into that part. So there are some key fundamental differences between the two of these systems. I've only scratched the surface. If you're really interested in finding out more about them, you can look up the ANSI A300 standards, or there are other standards for other countries and other areas of the world that has a lot more information than I can give you right now. So take a look at those, and hopefully this has been helpful.